If somebody asked you to think about high dynamic range or HDR photography, most of us would picture an impossible range of tones crammed into a single image. Exposures bracketed, shadows boosted and highlights reined in to deliver a surreal and sometimes flat or overcooked result, but it doesn't have to be this way. Hi, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and in this video I'm going to show you a new approach to HDR photography that exploits the greater brightness of most phones, laptops and TVs to deliver a result that's actually closer to what we see in reality. Just look around a room or outdoors and notice how much brighter the sun or even artificial lights look compared to the rest of the scene around them. Modern HDR photography aims to replicate that, or at least get closer to it. So rather than dimming or clipping bright subjects like lights, reflections or the sun, these elements are simply displayed brighter on compatible screens, while the rest of the image looks normal as before. Now obviously the result is going to vary depending on the maximum brightness of your screen, but you should still notice a visible boost that allows your photos to stand out next to those which don't support HDR. I've actually edited and uploaded this video in HDR, so if you're watching on a newish phone, laptop or TV, you should already be seeing the effect. Do let me know what you're using and how it looks. This type of HDR is already commonplace on big budget TV shows and even games, but most photographers haven't explored the possibility of using it for presenting still images, partly because most cameras and software haven't exactly made it easy so far. In fact, the first camera I've tested which really embraces and encourages this kind of HDR for stills photography is the Hasselblad X2D II 100C. So when Hasselblad approached me to make two sponsored videos about this camera, I knew that one of them should definitely concentrate on the HDR aspects, as the experience is unlike any I've tested so far. Meanwhile, my other video about the camera is an in-depth overview looking at the overall performance and handling, including focusing, resolution, noise and speed tests. Now of course the X2D II is a very high-end camera, but many of the editing and presentation techniques that I'm going to show you in this video are applicable to other cameras, and some of Hasselblad's hardware and design innovations may later inspire other brands too. Okay, so the end goal here is to display still photos that exploit the extra brightness of modern screens and devices, but which will also display normally on older ones. This compatibility means reining in the potential of HDR a little bit, but it is still possible to enjoy a visible benefit from it. Now since standard JPEGs are limited to 8-bit standard dynamic range, the first step is to capture your image in a format that supports a higher bit depth with the potential for brighter highlights without any clipping. RAW files are the obvious choice, but these will need to be processed later into an HDR compatible format for sharing and display, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. An alternative approach that may not require post-processing is to record in the HIF format, because this supports 10-bit tonal depth and more efficient compression too. But don't always assume that all cameras are recording HDR information in their HIF files as standard or even as an option. Most cameras that can do HDR photos will also require you to enable an HLG profile, which can embed modest HDR information for compatible screens while displaying normally on older ones. Now each manufacturer of course does this differently, so some experimenting will be required. And remember, many cameras may only offer a traditional tone mapped or bracketed HDR mode, which isn't what we're trying to do here. Hasselblad's X2D II 100C takes an alternative and much simpler approach. Rather than confusing you with bit depths and encoding profiles, it simply has a toggle to enable or disable HDR, and revealingly it's enabled by default. This works as an enhancement to their Hasselblad Natural Color Solution, or HNCS for short. This adds the required HDR information automatically to HIF files, and even JPEGs, which are encoded on this camera using the Ultra HDR format. Both types of files display normally on older screens, but they pop with extra brightness on the newer ones. Note the HDR mode employs smart metering, which means it's not supported in fully manual exposure mode, and it's also unavailable in burst or bracketing modes. Meanwhile, RAW files inherently contain the tonal range to generate HDR images and can be processed into HDR compatible files in Hasselblad's Focus app for iOS or in third-party applications like Photoshop. Here's Adobe Camera Raw allowing you to preview an image in HDR, view where the histogram clips for both types of displays, and make the usual adjustments. If you're generating HDR for use in 3D VFX software, you're going to need to work in 32-bit, but for HDR photos, which is what we're doing here, 16-bit will suffice, and once that file is open, just be sure to then save it in a format that contains the HDR extensions like JPEG XL. Other formats may strip it out. But you don't even have to wait until you share the image to see it in HDR on the X2D II, as it becomes the first camera that I've tested to actually include a rear screen that's bright enough to preview HDR effects. So it's out with a bog standard TFT and in with a nice OLED panel with a peak brightness of 1400 nits, making it much closer to a modern phone or even a professional monitor. Best of all, during playback you can tap the HDR icon in the corner to toggle the HDR effect on and off in order to see its impact. Again, most of the image remains unchanged, but any highlights like lamps, reflections or the sun are displayed brighter than normal. I've been asking manufacturers to include brighter OLED panels for their rear screens for years now, as most have fallen way behind what we enjoy on our phones, but so far only Hasselblad has seen the potential. It's great as you're no longer working blind. Sharing images from the X2D II is also really easy with the Focus mobile app for iPhones or iPads, which automatically wakes up the camera before then showing you the images that are contained on it, and again letting you tap on the HDR icon, except this time on your phone screen, to toggle the effect on and off. You can also process X2D II RAW files in the app, maintaining the Hasselblad natural color solution, before then outputting them as Ultra HDR JPEGs for broad compatibility. On old screens they'll display normally, on new ones you get that extra pop. Now you've taken or generated your pictures in HDR, it's time to share them, and ironically one of the easiest ways today is simply making a slideshow in a video file, in fact exactly what I've been doing here. Most video editing applications can create HDR compatible videos, and you can share them easily on YouTube, Instagram or Threads. I'm going to be making a separate video all about making HDR videos in Final Cut, but just briefly, you're going to need to edit them in a library that's set to wide gamut HDR for starters. If your goal is just to make a video for YouTube, as I am here, I'd suggest setting your project to wide gamut HDR Rec 2020 HLG, and then share the final file using the HEVC option, again choosing the HLG 10-bit option from the pull-down menu. This will generate an HLG video that should look fine on older screens, but again exploit the extra brightness of newer ones. And since the YouTube app can display HDR videos and is available across platforms and devices from phones to TVs, it's a really easy way to share HDR photo slideshows. But if you want to share a still photo on social media, the best platforms for HDR at the time I made this video were again Instagram and Threads, as other social networks tended to strip out the HDR information and just post images in standard dynamic range. That of course may change at the time you've seen this. But even on Instagram there's still a knack to doing it. Rather than sharing the image directly to these apps, I found it worked best to start in the app itself before then importing the image into it. As you click onto the next step in Instagram, notice how that app has identified the file as being in HDR, and once posted you should see the extra brightness on compatible devices, which fortunately includes most recent phones. I've also found that the HDR effect is maintained when using Instagram to automatically share a post on Threads, although again Facebook doesn't seem to support it yet. Oh, and many web browsers also support HDR photos, so you can also share your images that way, for example in Chrome. Another alternative for easily presenting and sharing HDR photos is within a Google Photos album. Google Photos will recognize certain image formats with HDR extensions, and while it wouldn't process the Hasselblad HIF files straight from the X2D II, perhaps due to their size, it would handle the Ultra HDR JPEGs, which I output from the Focus mobile app at a reduced size. Let me know if you've had success with other formats. When uploading your images, be sure to set Google Photos to original, not storage saver quality to avoid stripping out the HDR data. You'll also need to view them in an HDR compatible browser like Safari, seen here running on a MacBook Pro. Oh, and bonus tip for anyone making screen recordings for an HDR video project like this one. MacBook Pro laptops let you screen record in HDR, whereas standard Macs do not, so if you're recording screen-based tutorials about HDR, it is worth recording one on a computer that will avoid those highlights being blown out. And if you don't have access to a Pro model, there are workarounds. As a test, I cheekily recorded this clip at an Apple store, then airdropped it to my phone to take home. One caveat for this entire project though is that your images are going to have some bright highlights in them in order for you to see that effect. If your composition is a fairly flat one, like my A-roll to camera here, you're not going to see any benefit to HDR. So try to include some really bright lights in your image to see those pixels pop. So hopefully this has given you a few ideas to start exploring the world of HDR photography, at least in terms of exploiting modern screens. And again, the great news is that most phones, laptops and TVs are already capable of showing it. Meanwhile, Hasselblad's X2D II 100C is a clear pioneer in capturing, presenting and sharing HDR photos. There's no confusing menus or formats to navigate or figure out. The generously large and bright screen surpasses any other camera that I've tested, while getting the files out of the camera via the app is a seamless process. It's all very simple and enjoyable to use, and as a consequence encourages you to explore this modern approach to HDR imaging. And this, along with the overall design and handling of the camera, make for a refreshingly different experience compared to most other models today. As I said in my other video about this camera, it's really nice to see this degree of innovation at a time when many assume that the industry has peaked. If you're interested in the X2D II, even if only to see how a new camera can still innovate beyond plain speed or movie modes, then check out my first video all about it. Meanwhile, we can all cross our fingers that some of this technology makes it onto mainstream cameras in the future. Please can we have some brighter screens? Thanks for watching, thanks to Hasselblad for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.